And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode, it's a flashback to the first time the main hosts of the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, myself and Josh Peterson, the first time we were on the air together. We were together, students at National University, when I told them, hop on this podcast I'm doing. It was the Game Source podcast then. It evolved into the Pop Culture Cosmos. So go ahead and check out the early beginnings of Josh and myself, along with Rob McCallum and more, right there for you on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, here, coming up right now is, of course, Xbox, aka Mark. He was on with us right here at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Join us for all the game action, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, where we go ahead and have some great conversations and more. Go ahead and check us out each and every time out on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, of course, our good friends, the Lakerholics crew, Lakerholics.com. You know Laker Tom is happy. You know Jamie Sweet is happy. Michael Heinrich, L. Rob, all those guys are happy. Go ahead and see how happy they are by stopping by Lakerholics.com. Empire Jeff TV, he stopped by late last night. If he's awake now, because it was a very long night, if you saw, he is hosting his own stuff as far as the Dodgers and Lakers content at Empire Jeff TV on YouTube. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo, our good friends also as well. Alfred Esmond, Stone Hansen. Feel better, Stone. We miss you. We love you, man. Feel better. We know you're not feeling great. Feel better. Hopefully you get well soon. Go ahead and check out what he's doing at Report_Court and Legend 350. Check out his great stuff as well. Also, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Gets those algos, as we talk about, those algorithms jumping and moving and dancing and swaying and appearing before your very eyes on YouTube. If you like, you subscribe, you do what you can to help us out right there. Go ahead and get more people on to the Lakers Fast Break, and also help us get with those big guys. You won't want Trevor Lane. You don't want Trevor Lane being the top guy for Lakers YouTube channels. No, you don't. Ask yourself, do I want that guy being the host of the top channel on the Lakers YouTube that's out there? No, you don't. You want us. So go ahead and be part of what we're doing by liking, subscribing, and telling a friend all about what we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And for videos, shorts, articles, and more, emojis, badges, all that good stuff, become a member today for just $2.99 a month. I have not increased the price like everything else is going up. No, no, no. I am keeping it the same. No tariffs here. We give you a value cost membership for just $2.99 a month right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Tonight was the night. It wasn't a dream, everyone. Reality was here, and we enjoyed it as Luka Doncic finally stepped onto the court tonight as the Lakers at the crypt, with everybody getting a free Luka Doncic t-shirt, headed into a matchup tonight against the lowly Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, spearheaded by their general manager, Danny Ainge, who only found out what was going on when he was notified exactly what was going on. The entire trade of the century came about 30 minutes before it happened. And he had to be cursing up a storm that him of all people, helped facilitate this trade where Luka Doncic became a Laker. And that magic happened today with Luka Doncic stepping out of the court with LeBron. How would it look? Everybody had questions. Well, even though Luka still needs to get in a little bit better game shape, it looked pretty damn good. I'll tell you that. As the Lakers scored 72 in the first half, led by 25, and just kicked it into cruise control the rest of the way out. Rui Hachimura with 21. Good shooting day for him. LeBron James, just your average day at the office for him, 24, 8, and 7. Jackson Hayes, 12 points himself. Austin Reeves, 22. But the man of the hour, Luka Doncic, with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 24 minutes. He was on a minutes restriction. So even if the game would have been close, he was still on a minutes restriction. Dorian Finney-Smith had 4. Gabe Vincent had 11. Jordan Goodwin, 8 of 11 for 17. And the Lakers dusted off the Utah Jazz in game one. Head to head, they will be beating them on Wednesday in Salt Lake City. But game one, us in the debut of Luka Doncic, 132 to 130. And we've got some great people here in the chat. Also, as well, up on stage, first man up, first man on, first man here. It's good man indeed. He is our man down under. It is our own Chris Helmsworth. It is not that Spencer dude from Golden State. It is a guy who will be known going forward if he has his way as Mr. Jessica Alba. It is, of course, Mark. Mark, great to have you here, my friend. Such a spirited part of our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break crew. Hopefully, you dusted off your boss, told him I'm watching the Lakers. Hopefully, that meeting went well. Hopefully, you weren't fired. And if you were fired, hopefully, some of your bets paid off. Hopefully, you can live on that. And hopefully, you will go ahead to see many, 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 many more games as a member of the Lakers, my friend.
Hell yeah. And it was funny because we started the meeting and he said, oh, because I said to him, nothing's touching me today, mate. It's Luca Day. And he goes, oh, is that started or when does it start? I'm like, yeah, it's in 2 minutes. And he just looked at me. I'm like, yeah, bro, just wrap this meeting up ASAP. Because anyway, what a performance. The performance overall by the team was simply amazing. It just seemed like they cruised to 30+ point quarters. I know that didn't happen in the third, but even in the fourth, they've hit over 30 points as well. We are scoring like there's no team in front of us. So that's surreal in itself. But yeah, Luka's addition today was absolutely perfect. And to play 23 minutes, to have 14 odd points, to get a couple of assists, a couple of rebounds. It wasn't a perfect game, obviously, guys, but yeah, super happy. Rui's continued on his good way. And yeah, like you couldn't have had a better debut for Luka. I mean, I was pretty much sleepless last night thinking about it. So over the moon, Gerald. I'd like to get the other boys' opinions pretty quickly as well. But yeah, perfect debut for Luka considering the circumstances. It wasn't like he'd played for, last week. He hadn't played for a month and a half, given a little bit more than that. So yeah, perfect start for him. LeBron's kept it rolling. Fantastic game. I know it was a weak opposition, but it's exactly what we needed, and we need to now go there and do it again against them. And then we start rolling into some of those harder games against Denver, and then the revenge game against Dallas. And I see you, Dallas.
Already, Mark, before I get it over to Joe, we just can't enjoy things in life, guys. You guys wanted us to be more positive. You guys want us to be more just genuine as far as emotionally happy for the Lakers when they do well. Mark, we already have in the chat, LeBron committed to 7 turnovers. We won 132 to 113. We can't be happy about anything, Mark.
I don't know. And then Nell's telling me that he's waiting for me to turn my heel on Lucas. So I don't know.
He's
Like
the all-time turnover king. That's what he does when he handles it so much. It's just a part of it. It's who he is. Xbox.
I don't know, man. I like, yeah. Look, people look at the game differently to me, maybe because I didn't grow up playing it. But man, I can't even think at that level right now. All I saw was positives, even with turnovers and what have you. So that's how I'm looking at it. Today was a perfect game to integrate Luka, and we scored 132 points. I mean, turnover, whatever, at this point, from my perspective, it's not a worry.
You know, Mark, this is the same crew that was here when that magical moment happened, when we got it. Actually, John rejoined us back when it was all starting to go down. And he's part of that magical video. If you want to see it, the moment that Luka Doncic was traded, I narrowed it down to a 10-minute video, and it all started with you, Mark, noticing that the comments were made in the chat. We didn't believe it, but we can believe it now. Luka Doncic is a Laker. And here today to go ahead and discuss everything as well regarding today's game and what the ramifications are going forward is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the man behind Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. His game that you got to go ahead and buy for him. Do it, do it, do it. The Indie Fighting Game of the Year, Corrupt, Coreupt on Steam. Corrupt. Absolutely fantastic fighting game. Plus also as well, you got to go ahead and support him if you're in the Southern California area. Simblades with the Y.com. Want to go ahead and make sure you know it is Joe Soro. And Joe, great to have you here. The Lakers improved to 32-19. Going to be a little bit of a trek getting higher than fourth place in the Western Conference because Denver is playing well now. They're still a game and a half behind them. Memphis is on the radar now at 2.5 games behind. Houston's tied with them as far as overall games, 10.5 back. But right now, the Lakers, with 1 game to go before the All-Star break, have Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic as a Laker is a reality, Joe.
Saw a glimpse of what's coming here, folks. A lot of pick and roll offense that's going to be flushed with dunks. You don't have to worry just about LeBron now. You have to worry about possibly the best pick and roll guard on the planet. And the Lakers role players, their advanced role players are all clicking on all. They're clicking on all cylinders. Heck, you even had you even had guys like Jordan Goodwin who dropped 17 points today, and he was killing it in the paint. Just every mid-range shot in that paint, he was hitting it. I'm not saying it's going to be a difference maker when it matters, but maybe not. I don't know. That's been a surprise, and I think we'll have to start monitoring that a little bit. Usually, guys don't play like that that well when they haven't played in a year. So this is something that looks like Goodwin's been doing some things here, and he doesn't.
Well, he's been playing with South Bay, Joe. He's been playing with South Bay.
Well, a lot of guys play with South Bay. They don't do jack squat when they play up in the
True.
big boy area. This guy's making it happen, and boy, will that help. Oof. When you can find another diamond in the rough, that stuff becomes huge, guys, especially in an 82-game season. The Lakers right now are feeling pretty good about themselves. They've gone through the gamut. They've gone through idiots like us yapping about how much they all suck, how they should get traded for everything. Ownership should sell. GM should die. We've done it all, okay? And they survived it, and they're playing better basketball than I've ever seen them play, at least in terms of this group. And right now, the Lakers just need to somehow figure out a way to get one more 5-position player that can really at least station himself in a positive way down low. We don't need someone that can be athletic. Jackson Hayes is there. We don't need someone that could fill in the gap here and there during the game. You have Rui, you have LeBron, you have guys like that could do that. You have Jared Vanderbilt. What the Lakers need is, in case they need somebody down low that can at least get some space so that offensive rebounds aren't a problem when things start to get heated, that's where it's going to be important to have that player. I don't know who that player is. I've been scouring the internets on who it would be. Right now, I'm at the point where Andre Drummond is the most qualified possible buyout big, and that doesn't say much. Alex Lynn, Jahlil Okafor, yeah, no, you can't bring somebody in that's averaging 1.6 points a game. That is, you might as well just keep what you have right now. You might as well go get Colin Castleton at this point. At least he's familiar with this team. So the Lakers, there's hope and there's mystery at the same time. I think that's a good thing, because I was explaining on the last show how it was the same way with my other LA team, and how there were a lot of question marks going into the playoffs there, and they ended up making up a lot of those deficiencies because of the area that they are strong in, and that is dropping 132 points and having a well-oiled machine on offense. This is the NBA 2025. You're not going to survive just playing defense like the '04 Pistons or the '08 Celtics or the Pistons of the '80s. Those days are gone. They don't let you play like that anymore. So the Lakers just need enough defense and enough bodies in that paint to get those rebounds when the opposition misses shots, so that they can get running and gunning. Because if they get running and gunning with Luka on one side and LeBron on the other, you can say goodbye to any chance of you beating this team.
Once again, it is the Lakers. They win 132 to 113. Just want to mention again, they are still fourth place in the Western Conference, 10.5 games back, but they are tied with Houston, a game and a half back behind Denver in the Western Conference. And here today to discuss Luka's debut. He's a good man indeed. He is the evil mastermind, especially with that hood on, for Lakers Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Please go ahead and like and subscribe there. And while you're at it, check out all the great stuff that he's putting out there as well. It is our own John Costa. John, great to have you here. Such a great part of Playback as well. A big shout out to everyone on stage and on Playback, including Nick, Xbox, Joe, yourself, John, Zach, Danny, the whole time. So tried to get a whole bunch more on there as well. For everybody that tried to get VIPs and just stayed on stage just to go ahead and, or in the chat, just to chat with us on anywhere, YouTube, Facebook, or Playback, we truly appreciate it. Great game today. Was this exactly how you thought it would go down, John?
Yes, it is. I thought this is I was almost guaranteeing a win today. Not only just because against the Jazz, but I mean Luka himself was not gonna let any of this momentum slow down. And I talked about this when we were on Playback. Guys, the energy that Luka has brought to this team is just absolutely contagious, y'all. It's contagious. I mean, we see LeBron James playing one of the most energized defense we've seen him play in a long time. We see Hayes getting used like to a whole nother level. I mean, bro, his game is just going to continue to elevate more and more and more with Luka out there, and it was just great to see. I mean, the first two plays of the game, y'all, was first a LeBron lob to Hayes, and then the second time it was Luka lob to Hayes. It's just like this is what we're gonna see, y'all, and it definitely is, unfortunate, and we can get into the weeds of the whole, Mark Williams thing and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I say, look, man, even if we don't do something this year, we are positioning ourselves to have a finals appearance in these next 5 years. Luka's going to sign his contract extension, y'all, and we are absolutely just securing our future. And my original take was we're securing our future, but if we can continue to play like this as a as a team is currently constructed now, like, yes, I 100% agree. I think we need to get that 5. I think we definitely need some help inside to anchor our defense. I don't think every game we're going to be able to shoot the lights out like how we did in today's game. But what I will say is, if we can continue to play just like this, I'm not saying we're contenders, but I'll be hard pressed to find too many teams that could beat us in the 7-game series. Remember, 7-game series is not just a one and done type game. You're gonna have to beat this team multiple times. So I'm happy to be here. Happy that Luka's on this team. Still can't even fucking believe it. Like, it's like I tell y'all sometimes, like, I really feel like I'm gonna wake up and they're gonna be like, gotcha. It's Luka not really on the Lakers, man. But shit, he's here, man. Big time game. And then let me just give some love to Gabe Vincent. Let me give some love to Rui, man. Players that, I mean, we were killing them, right, for a long time. The inconsistencies, not playing the role. But man, Gabe Vincent, and I gotta give some love to Mark, because Mark, he be hating on Gabe's face, but maybe it was some reverse psychology.
Yeah, it was, bro. It was.
Ever since then, Gabe has just begun to play his role great. If it's that corner shot, he's knocking down that corner shot. If it's that catch and shoot at the wing, he's knocking down that catch and shoot at the wing. It's just been great to see. And when if I'm gonna get on you when you're not doing good, I need to give you your props when you are doing good, man. So Great day to be a Lakers fan, man. Great day.
Joe, in a second here, I'm going to go ahead and we'll discuss the Mark Williams trade yet again, because I know we've got an update for audio listeners on this that the people in the video are seeing now. But Mark, I'm going to bring it right to you first with what you saw in today's game. Again, Luka, still not 100% shape. It was clear. I'm not going to sit here and say differently, but my gosh, getting 2/3 of Luka, if that's what you want to say, you just see what he does as far as how he changes the dynamic of the team. And even with the Luka that's not optimal right now, he still can make a huge impact into this game. Even putting him off to the side and letting LeBron run the show at the top of the key, you could just tell that the Jazz were just very wary of where he was at all times. So your thoughts on this early return for watching Luka and LeBron and how it may work out going forward?
Oh, it looks unreal. Like, like I said before, the guy hadn't played for a month and a half, and he's come back today. Yeah, we'll all admit it here. He's not in complete game shape yet, and he'll be the first to say that. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll admit that. But you're not going to be in game shape when you've been out for a month and a half. It doesn't work that way. So he's got to work his way back into game shape, and he'll do that. There's players that do that. Not everyone's cut out to work themselves out in a gym, and I'm sure he's doing all he can in that respect, but he needs to play games and he loves the game. And you could just see some of the stuff he did tonight, man. I thought I was seeing like a mini Joker out there. Some of those passes when he tried to hit dudes in the corner from the opposite end, and the guy's absolutely wicked, man, and he's been wicked for a long time. You only have to look at his stats to know that when you're averaging over 30 in the NBA, you're absolutely crazy. So just a small glimpse for us tonight, but that's all we wanted. We wanted him to play less than 25 minutes. The club wanted him to play less than 25. He got 24, 23 and a half, borderline 24. Perfect. He got 14 odd points. He got a couple of assists. He got Hayes a couple of dunks, and he got rest in the end of the game. Like, it's an absolute dream start for Luka. Yeah, I know that I was privately telling you that I was going crazy and putting over 40 bets on him and stuff. They weren't actually paying that much, which is hard to believe now. And yeah, I did forget between yesterday's stream and those bets, Joel, that and gamble responsibly, but that he was on a minutes restriction. So I do regret that immensely. But nonetheless, I'm so happy today. It doesn't matter what was wasted on that. So perfect game. And yeah, obviously you guys will touch on it just really quickly now. But Mark Williams would have been a nice addition, but something's gone wrong there, and they backed out of the deal for a reason. And I think Joe's pretty consistent on what he's thinking about this now. Is we've got a back Rob in the club. They've brought in Luka, so they've got a real clear slate to see this thing through over the next few years. And if that means rescinding the Mark Williams deal, I'm all for it. And I'm a little bit more of a conspiracy theorist than most. I reckon they've looked at the last couple of games and they've thought, we're not playing too bad without a big man. We can't afford to lose Dalton as well. Dalton could add something here, guys. I mean, he hasn't played tonight. We haven't needed him, but his shots are going to be timely. Rui's not always going to be making his threes. That's maybe when you look at a Dalton. So I don't know, man. I'm a little bit of conspiracy, but either way, if the player's not healthy, we've got every right to back out of the deal. And Hornets, man, I said this, but when you take a kid's PS5 away, you deserve everything else that happens to you. So shout out to Dalton. He's back, man, and I'm happy as about that. So interesting to get your reads on that whole Williams scenario.
Spoken like a true man who calls himself Xbox.
That's right. Yeah, maybe they
But,
should have taken it back and given him an Xbox.
Yes, Xbox, especially with a year of Game Pass, that would have been really good. But especially with Avowed coming out, everyone, on Games Pass. Don't see that yet on PlayStation.
Corrupt
Also
one.
here today, a little shot at across the bow PlayStation. Oh wait, are they still down on PSN?
They were.
They were. I know they're back up. But
yeah.
Also here today, Joe, let me ask you this. The reason why you and I were conversating over on playback about the trade still, for Mark Williams that was rescinded by the Lakers because of what came up in the medical reports. Charlotte, who put out that statement, I think a very asinine statement last night, saying that the other team approached them when reports had them approaching the Lakers. Okay, whatever, the semantics right there. But we are so glad to have Mark Williams coming back, blah, 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 blah. Funny, 24 hours later, the Charlotte Hornets have been in contact with the NBA, as you see on the scroll below, as they explore options to dispute the LA Lakers' failed physical and trying to get the trade back up and going and get those draft picks, the draft swap, Dalton Connect, et cetera, which is why Dalton Connect was in street clothes on the bench tonight. If you were so glad to get Mark Williams back, why would you be wanting to dispute this trade or dispute the rescinding of the trade after all, Joe?
When you have a Mickey Mouse operation, this is the kind of stuff that happens. There's continuous PR bullshit that comes out. The PR people think some letter that goes to the public all of a sudden is going to mend everything. So in the end, this is a lesson for all of you to understand. When you're full of shit, when you're a full of shit person, organization, you said it best, Mark. They took they faked. Okay, so they look at it this way. I just thought of this right now that I'm thinking about it. They faked giving some piece of shit console that's worth, for these guys, they're all billionaires, okay? It's like this to them, maybe less, okay? The stuff I put on the wall for my little clicker for the light, that's how much that is to them. Yet they take it away from a kid. So what do you think they're going to do in an instance like this? They try to sell and prove. I want to know proof that you weren't trying to sell damaged goods. Why wouldn't this go through? The Lakers need a center. They needed a center. They needed Mark Williams. They said no because they can't afford to screw up the summer if this guy isn't healthy. It's common sense. It's better to not risk the possibility of getting exactly what you need in the summer versus taking a chance on someone, giving up that much draft capital, also giving up a player who might be very, very good. In this league, there is no such thing as there's not enough shooters. Despite their defense, despite how tall they are, you can shoot in the NBA, and Dalton Connect has shown he can. Matter of fact, last 7 games, he was knocking it out of the park. He was shooting, 47% from 3, 55% from the field, averaging about 11 points a game. Guys, for a rookie doing that with a team like this, with all these guys playing well, that says a lot. Do not risk what could be yours this summer. And that's what Rob did. The hell was that?
What? Was what? What?
No, nothing. Anyways,
You're good.
Maybe
that was the Charlotte Hornets trying to knock on your door.
Careful, Joe.
So what are they going to do now? Is Adam Silver going to sit both of them in a room and say, "All right, I'll put this deal back together," but the Lakers said they're not giving you Dalton Connect. So pick the other guys. Oh, and by the way, not Austin and Rui and those guys. I'm talking about the bottom half.
Yes. What's up, Mike?
What this does now for the Lakers, yes, they get Dalton back. Absolutely great to have him back. But the pick comes back. The pick swap comes back. It frees up a lot of things as far as what they may be able to do, not only this summer, but next summer when they have a lot more cap space coming off the books, which if there's a free agent, I don't want to say bonanza, but there could be a decent free agent marketplace shaping up in the summer of 2026 that the Lakers may have the ability to go ahead and spend some money on. All that is created if they don't go ahead with this trade for Mark Williams. But if they do get Mark Williams back, or whatever the league decides, I just hope the kid's healthy. I just feel bad for the kid because he seems like the unwanted toy that everybody else.
Honestly,
what is it with you and feeling bad for everybody?
Look,
This guy's making
I
$4 million
feel
a
bad
year.
for the
What are you
kid. The
feeling
kid
bad
is being
for?
tossed around
Who
between
gives a
LA and
shit? That's
Charlotte.
his job.
you gotta feel bad for I guess for
All you
both
guys do
parties.
is feel bad all day.
Listen, all right, hold on here.
Feel bad.
I
Feel
feel
bad.
bad.
Hold
I
on,
have to.
let me hop in
I
here.
feel
Let
bad.
me-
Well, hold on. I feel
So
bad. I have
distraught
to
right now. I
listen
can
to
put glasses on.
I feel bad. I have to listen to you and read you and Sean all day, going with your sophomoric jokes on WhatsApp all day long.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna turn
exactly.
it up too.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
bad
turn it
for
up.
me. I have to put
I'm
up
gonna
with it.
turn it up.
Gerald's
It's
letting
pretty so
it off
bright.
his chest
I'm
right
getting
now.
out of the group. I'm out of the
It is
group,
so
guys.
bright.
Xbox. I'm leaving that group. Okay?
No, and I
I'm done.
say the group's
No,
classic.
You got a
listen,
problem? Put it on
Okay.
mute.
let's talk about this.
That's what
Let's
I
talk
do.
about this from a
That's a
from
good
a real
point.
point of view
I
here.
love the group.
I
Joel's not
feel
leaving.
bad. The guy walked across the street. It took him an extra 15 seconds. I feel
Oh
bad for
my
him.
God.
Every day it's somebody feeling bad for something.
Oh, Joe, stupid
Here
meme,
we
stupid
go.
meme, stupid gift, stupid gift, stupid gift. That's all I see all day. Oh, Sean, you're blah, 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 blah. Oh, Joe, blah, 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 blah. Come back and forth. I feel like I'm in preschool with you two. Go ahead, Sean. Just
So
go ahead.
what I was gonna say was, if we're gonna talk about, I guess feeling bad or whatnot for players, I guess nothing to necessarily feel bad on, but something that there is to something that you do got to think about and you got to keep in mind that we've also seen before here in Lakers Nation is when when you get traded and then the trade gets rescinded or the trade whatever happens, that the trade gets reversed, you go back to that team. There's no way that you not like feeling like, damn, well, like shit, like if y'all just am I just recyclable to y'all? Like am I not important to y'all? Am I not part of the future? So that does get you feeling some type of way, whether it's Dalton Connect or whether it's Mark Williams. No matter what, you do have to be feeling some type of way, because that happened with Derek Fisher when they had got traded, the whole Chris Paul, and then Chris Paul trade got vetoed and all that. A lot of those guys had just felt like, damn, like, well, if this is how you're gonna do us, then I don't even want to give my all. I can't even put my all into this. So I guess that's on that end. But what I will say is this: it's something that we have to keep in mind. And I would really have a real conversation with Dalton Connect. I'd be like, look, brother, like, I'm sorry I got rescinded. Like, look, you need to understand that, one, this is a business. That's first of all. Second of all, you're great, Dalton, but we did not need you next to Luka more than we needed a big next to Luka. And that's the trade that we went for. If you can understand it, understand it. But if you can't, then let that shit be known now and get it off your chest. Because we're not gonna do this little I'm in my feelings, so I'm a soul kid. I'm gonna sit over here. So that's the one thing I would say, man, is clear out all type of tension, whether it be with Dalton Connect, whether it be Cam, no matter what it
Man,
be.
John, I reckon JJ Redick that conversation between him and JJ Redick would have taken 5 minutes, man. JJ, having played in the league recently and suffered through some of those moments where he's been traded and what have you, maybe not the same in terms of having to be sent back to a club because the trade's been rescinded. I just feel like, honestly, it's not like he was he was going to a top contender and he's come back to us, man. He's looking at this like, I reckon he's licking his lips, and I'd be shocked if he isn't, and I wouldn't be too happy if he wasn't, because you're coming back to the Lakers, man, when we're looking at the next 4 months riding through to a chip. I'm sure he probably thinks, LeBron's the GOAT, being similar age to you, John, and sort of that's, people your age do think that. I don't know, man. There's no way Dalton Connect. Obviously, you're going to feel offended, and Cam's going to feel the same to a degree. But they were trading for a player that they thought were going to help Luka win a chip. So I don't know, man. They've just got to break it down, be real, have a chat to JJ, and just get back on the horse, man. Because this is a wild ride, and you're playing in LA. There's no bigger market in the NBA. So honestly, bro, I reckon Dalton's going to be fine. And there's all this speculation Dalton wasn't dapping up AR and doing this, that, the other. He doesn't care, man. Wait till next game when he's out there draining threes, man. It's a non-factor for the players. For me,
and real quick, I think his name's Noker, or I don't really know how to pronounce it.
No,
But
yep.
Joker.
yeah, however you pronounce it. No, nobody's babying him. It's just about when you run a business, like, you can't have somebody here feeling some type of way, so if holding resentment against you and not talking about it, you need to clear all that shit. So that's what I'm saying. You need to have that. You need to have that conversation with them. Look, dog, like we think you're a great basketball player, great job, but we just don't need you more than we needed a big next to Luka. That's literally what Luka's thrived off. And if you think that we needed you more than we needed a big next to Luka, then you're just delusional here, brother. And that's okay. Let's have this conversation. Let's clear the air and let's move forward here. But as far as like, I guess like feeling that, yeah, it's kind of to what Joe said. Look, man, these guys are living the absolute dream. That was my dream to make the NBA, man. So can't really, I
That's
guess,
right, John. Yeah, think
feel
about
bad.
it like that.
Granted, they are still human beings, just because they got money and they play a child sport for a living, that does make them immune to problems and does make them human, not human beings. So they are human beings, but hey,
But
man,
John, I
I'll
will
tell you
say
what.
it's just. But John, when somebody says they want you back and are glad to have you back, and on the other hand, the next day saying they don't want you back and are going to fight the NBA for it, what does that tell you?
That they're stupid.
That there's something wrong there with that kid.
And sorry, and my point just then, that's the side I forgot to mention was Mark Williams. Where Dalton's feeling happy about coming back, Mark's probably not, man. Because obviously he's been traded by them and he's missing out on the chance to play with Luka and the Lakers. So Dalton's going to be sweet, man. I really have confidence in him that he's going to be fine.
Once again,
So,
oh,
somebody
no worries.
Oh no,
Go ahead.
Darren said, "Would Dalton skunk me?" No, first of all, nobody gonna skunk me because I ain't going out like that. But Dalton Connect will for sure probably give it to me, bro. He's an NBA player, dog. I had one of my friends. He played Division One. He played at Cal, right? Man, I'll tell you what, we had some good battles growing up, but by the time he hit that growth spurt and got like 6'4" and up. Man, just can't do nothing about it. They're just so damn talented and tall, and Dalton would definitely do me in. But I ain't getting skunked though. I'm scoring on every and somebody I'm scoring.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Mark, aka Xbox, John Costa for Clutch Talk of Lakers Corner, and the Terminator, Joe Soro from also as well. Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com. There he is. Yes, come with him if you want to live. Mark, I want to ask you this again. Appreciate you joining us and jumping on. Your evaluation so far with Luka. Obviously, some things have to come in place, but just the fact that we now have him on the court, it is a reality. You saw the excitement, the Hollywood sign. Did you see the Hollywood sign being modified to have the 77 on it? The whole city of LA, as
That's
Joe would
insane.
tell you, is embracing him. This is Otani like in its efforts to go ahead and win him over. They even get the fact that he can sign elsewhere. He can turn down an extension here in the offseason. He doesn't have to stay with the Lakers. They are doing what they can. The fan base, the community are doing everything that they can to help him. And he, in turn, his first thing he does when he gets off the plane, he flashes the LA sign. The first thing he does the day of the game, he contributes $500,000 to help those in need that are affected by the fires here in Southern California. Your thoughts on this? Is a really, really good thing for LA, the community after what's gone on and what's gone down. This marriage between LA and Luka, hopefully, if all goes well, will last a long, long time.
Oh, and look, I'll go to Joe pretty quickly after. I'll just answer really, really quickly on that. Man, Luke is of the highest character. And I can't believe that I said it during playback and to you guys privately, but that money would have gone to Dallas and the residents of Dallas and, to help people out in Dallas. And they've traded all that stuff away. They've traded all his international fame and his charity and who he is as a person, what he means to people for, I'm not even going to mention the guy's name anymore. I'm going to move forward myself. But man, this is a high character guy. To donate 500 grand from your charity on the day of your game, who came up with that, man? I mean, that's just brilliant. So, we've got someone special here, and we'll say it again. He's only come back from a month. He's been out for a month and a half. He's got to spend time getting game fit, and he'll do that. But this is a transcendent talent that took like, guys, you're in a pretty big country, and most people listening to this are in countries that have many, many millions of people. This dude comes from a country with 2 million people and almost took them to a bronze medal. That's probably as significant as winning when, like the Americans do every time. It's as up there with that achievement, coming fourth or fifth in Olympics for a nation like that, guy. So the dude's a really special character, and yeah, thanks for donating to the city, Luka, and man, we're gonna show you all the love we can back, bro. And man, honestly, Joe said it today, and Joe's right. The reason that the Mavericks traded Luka to us was because they know that he's going to sign long term, or else he wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else, and the trade would have just been a bust.
And you
So
got to remember, by being traded, he loses out on
on the
$100 million in his extension.
Good thing
I'm
he'll
gonna
make
say
it
it.
short.
Yeah,
Here in
look,
LA, here he'll get as close.
Hell
as
yeah.
There's a workaround. I'll tell you guys when it's my turn.
all right, nah, and Joe, yeah, it is your turn
There's
now.
a
because
workaround.
you
I'll tell you in a minute how it works.
Okay,
go
well,
over to
with that,
Joe, Gerald. Yeah.
thank you so much, No Joker, for the $20 super chat. Truly appreciate it. So, Joe, I was going to ask you about Daniel Gafford and talk about their situation in Dallas, but I'll do that with John. Your thoughts and your opinions on what the workaround may be with all that money supposedly on the surface being gone for Luka by him being traded to LA.
Yeah, so Luka has the ability to opt out of his contract this summer, and if he signs a 2+1 extension, he's going to have to take a little bit of a risk here. But if he does it, he can opt out again in 2028 and sign the real extension with the Lakers, which would be for 5 years at $418 million, give and take, depending on how the salary cap works out by then, which is it is going to go up, obviously, once the TV contracts or the new contract comes in. So he's going to actually make more money by doing it that way in the long haul. The only thing is he is going to get taxed more in California. However, he is going to make more money, especially if the Lakers win championships. He's going to make more money in endorsements than he would in Dallas. As good as Dallas is in terms of attendance and it's still being somewhat of a big market and a popular place in the country, nothing beats. That's just like Barca of
I mean,
America.
you see Ohtani.
Yeah.
Ohtani barely speaks the language, and look at him. He is now the face of Major League Baseball because of being in the Dodgers.
And that's a good example because it's always been a question of, will this person be marketable in America? Ohtani busted that theory, that question. A Japanese guy who barely speaks English is astronomically popular in this country. So much so that when they were asking Mookie Betts, how's your boy? What's going on? He goes, he can't leave the house. Ohtani cannot leave the house. He's not talking about Japan. He's talking about Orange County, where he lives. He cannot leave. Even Kobe Bryant could at least go to the Baskin Robbins and people would come up, maybe get a couple autographs here and there, take pictures, but they kind of relatively left him alone. Now, he couldn't do that in LA. And that was something he even talked about. He goes, I can't. If I take one step outside the car in LA by myself, he goes, it'll be within 5 seconds, I'll be swarmed. So Luka Doncic has everything in terms of what LA is about. He's got the look. He's got the charisma. He's got the game. He's got the flash the game. He loves to win, which is something very underrated about the city of LA. I'm not a very big fan of LA in terms of the people who run it, but I'm a very popular. I support the people who live. The majority of the people who live in LA are very hardworking and about doing things like this and winning and being the best. And Luka's about that, and he's going to become a fan favorite. He's already a fan favorite, but when this guy starts winning, guys, the second that guy wins the championship, this thing's going to go into a whole different level. By the way, Johnny, that neon sign is money.
You like it? Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. I got it. I got a Lakers one in my garage.
Appreciate that.
I might have to move it. I might have to move it over here so you guys can see it.
Yeah, we should. I honestly had the clutch talk one, but wanted to switch it up here because I focused a lot more on Lakers corner here.
Just wanted to make mention that after the game, he swapped jerseys in his first official game here with Puka Nacua of the Los Angeles Rams as they swapped jerseys. Thought that was a really cool moment.
Dude.
I just wanted to go ahead and show that to you there. But John, let me bring it back in here. I know in a few minutes you're going to have to go do your report, and I understand that. But before we head on out, life has its way of providing some karma. After those pointed comments over the weekend by the owner. A subscriber. Thank you, Philip, for subscribing. Truly appreciate it. But the pointed comments by the Dallas Mavericks owner in regards taking some shots at Luka even more. AD goes down with the abdominal muscle strain, or could be something even worse, but he's out at least a month. It's been the determination on that. And then you saw today, I showed you on Twitter, the Twitter feed of the highlights. Unfortunate, a very serious knee injury for Daniel Gafford. So the Dallas Mavericks, 3 7-footers. AD was excited to go play in Dallas because he had 2 7-footers he was playing alongside of. Well, one is out 3 months. Now another one could be out even longer, and he himself, AD, could be out a month. So your thoughts on the, I guess I'd say, just way that this has gone down and how karma might be having its day with the Dallas Mavericks.
That's what they get, man. That's what they get. It's coming right back around to bite them in the ass, man. Try to publicly shame Luka's name, try to throw a blanket lie just to cover their ass, to not make them look as bad. I even seen today that some fan was like on the jumbotron at the Mavs game saying like fire Nico, and then the Mavs went and like escorted him out of the game. So they're doing all that they can to try to salvage whatever it is that they have left of their organization. But it's just like fumbling the bag after fumbling the bag after fumbling the bag. And I kind of think of similar to the Kings. You know how the Kings, like, they finally had something good going with Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox, and they fucked that up. And within the span of like a week, Mike Brown and then De'Aaron Fox wanted out. And it's kind of like how I'm feeling here with the Mavs. You know, within the span of like 1 or 2 weeks, they go from, losing their number one. I mean, honestly, fuck it. I'll say it. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I know some of my OGs may not like it, but Luka, best player to ever put on the Mavs jersey. Some of y'all may try to kill me for that, but that's not what we're here to debate. That's not what we're here to argue. What I'm here to tell y'all is, arguably, at least, even if you hate him, at least.
I think even Dirk said that, John. You're not far off.
Okay. See, that's what I thought. That's what I would go with, but okay, you know what I'm saying?
Cuban definitely said it.
John, some of the Rolando Blackman fans will probably take issue with you on that, but go ahead. I'm just
yes, but
Rolando Blackman.
He's good, but it's not Luka. Come on.
Just kidding, Joe.
I say this.
I'm leaving.
Kidding. Are you? Is that all it takes? Is that all it takes? Good. I'm good every time. Also, and we're back with Rolando Blackman.
There's no
and
such
the
thing as
Lakers
karma.
podcast.
Look, so I'll say this, man. They fumbled the bag with letting go Luka, tried to stay in his name, and then it came right back around. They said Luka's too injury prone. Well, you traded for an injury prone player. You felt that, and then it happened to Daniel Gafford, and Lively's already out. So now you're back to the good old reliable Dwight Powell, man. You're back to the good old reliable, and they're probably going to go on another losing streak like they did when they first lost Luka.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of. Again, Dwight Powell, he's just there. He is just there. And this is like a year after year after year. I mean, once he established himself, he was a starter for a while, John, if you remember. And then he just wasn't going to be that guy. And but they kept signing him to contracts, and he's just there at the end of the bench. Then for some reason, circumstance would happen where he'd have to get into the court, get on the game, and you could just hear the groans of Mavs fans just seeing him, and also Kleber. They don't like Kleber as well, but they've got rid of that problem. But with Powell back again, my God, it's just, that's hilarious. But thank you. I appreciate it, John. And again, Before you head out, make sure you give a cheap plug for your awesome places to go to on YouTube. But Mark, let me get you back in here. The Lakers have one more game before the All-Star break. It is conveniently against Utah in Salt Lake City. I'm not expecting a 30-point blowout, but I am expecting a W now that we have Luka. It is on Wednesday. There should be no problems getting him there. No, everybody looks like they're healthy. Maybe Vando at the end kind of looked a little bit, maybe it turned an ankle or something, but he looked like he finished out the game. With everybody all healthy going into the All-Star break, and some easy games coming out of it before they start playing teams like Dallas and Denver and all that, this could be a good time to be a Lakers fan as they gain ground in the Western Conference.
It's the best time to be alive in so many years. Let's be fair. It's unreal, and I actually forgot we had an All-Star break. That's how excited I was getting. So that's even better, man. Now that you reminded me of that, we've just got to get Luka's got to play the same. I'm sure he'll be on a minutes restriction in the next game as well. I'd suggest it's probably going to be very similar minutes. Get the same sort of result would be ideal. Now, a loss going into the All-Star game would be very painful, especially against Utah, but there's no signs of that happening right now. Not to say that on any given day, each team can beat each other. But yeah, the ideal scenario, Gerald, is beat Utah, chill out for, a week and a half or so. Luka keeps working on that fitness. Thankfully, he's not a part of the All-Star stuff that's going on this year, so he can just focus, man. And I was saying this when we traded him, this little period here before we start those Denver games and that Dallas game, etc. It's like a mini preseason for him. Get back that fitness. Like he's working now with our trainers, not the Muppets in Dallas that thought he was out of shape and all this kind of jazz. So let's see, man. He's just got to keep. He looks, I don't know, man. He looks right to me. He looks like the way he's smiling, the way he's acting. He just looks like he wants to be here too. Obviously, that's you go back to when he was crying and stuff on the day of the trade. Just I don't know, man. Everything looks right to me about Luka. The way he, just his appearance in terms of his face, and the way he rocked up to LA. So I'm all good for it, man. I just think, Utah, it's a must-win game in the sense that we want to keep the momentum going. And then, let's focus on Luka's health over that period. Hopefully, LeBron goes away to All-Star, comes back uninjured, obviously, and just has a nice little week off there or whatever. They seem to do now with the All-Star game. And then we roll into some of these big games, man. And then like I've said this whole time, LeBron's career is running out, man. So there's no way you can't tell me he's looking at the next 3 to 4 months as being one of the biggest opportunities of his life to win a chip, especially now with Luka. So he might go all out here, guys. He might put his body on the line when we least expect it. And that's what I expected LeBron. I haven't always expected that in the past, but now with the rejuvenation he's clearly got through Luka. And Robert, that's the 5th time you've asked that question. I was actually, and I told you before, man, like maybe just put everyone's name in. It's not super hard, but I know you're a great contributor. And Joe and John will answer that for you. But yeah, man,
Yes.
happy days, Gerald. Happy as just need to get through this next game. Luka uninjured and a small little break to get him real fit. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'll ask John that question because I want to go ahead and ask Joe another question because BTS. I told BTS that you've apologized several times last week to Jeannie and the organization. I'm assuming he was here on many one of those because he's not like he's just here a first timer. I'm surprised he didn't hear any one of the number of times that you apologized to Jeannie and the organization already. Again, one last time. I'm not going to ask you anymore because you've already done it nauseum. But now that you've seen Luka on the court, you've seen the potential of what it could be once Luka gets into full shape, even in the shape he's in now. The possibilities for this team are endless. And again, as John mentioned, as I've mentioned, they can compete in a 7-game series against anyone out there. And we have Jeannie and Rob to thank for it.
Absolutely. Were you talking to me or are you talking to Joe?
Talking to Joe.
Okay,
on
go
that
ahead,
one
Joe.
because BTS wanted one more last apology for him to.
Joe's not going.
Yeah, those days are over. It's gone.
Thank you.
Apologies have been done, folks. Mistakes were made. Things were amended, at least here. The Lakers are now a focus of winning championships again. And we're going to focus on that and analyze according to that. Right now, this team feels very good about themselves. The role players and the advanced role players are starting to really, really connect. Pardon the pun. Hopefully, does connect at some point as well. Again, the Luka LeBron game is going to be a highlight, if anything else. How that materializes after the playoffs start is going to be the ultimate test. That's pretty much how I'm looking at it. Right now, the Lakers are on pace to win 51 games. If you look at the standings right now, they are now 4 games up in the loss column versus the 6th seed. So they are looking like worst case scenario, if they continue to play with the way they're playing right now, at the very, very least, they're probably going to stay at the 4. And that means what we discussed earlier in the year. That means home court in the first round. This is the first time they would have home court in the first round. You guys ready for this? Where it matters, not when Kobe tore out his Achilles and lost to the Spurs, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking the last time it mattered was 2012 against New Orleans. That was the last time, folks. So if you're wondering why I was upset and chastising Jeannie and Rob and everybody, folks, 2020 was a COVID year. You can't count that in terms of the home court situation. So you have 13 seasons, 14 seasons, guys, since the Lakers have had a home court in the first round. That's a long time, guys. That means Cool Bro has never seen it, almost.
You're awesome.
Yes, I know I'm awesome. So the steps are taking care of those type of things. You got the chemistry.
You're awesome.
You got the team ready to go. Now you get into that first round. You get the home court. You have the advantage there. Take advantage of it, and then see how things kind of fall in place from there. And
You're awesome.
we haven't really been discussing that for a while now as well. Even in the last few years, everything was about, my God, are we going to be able to get out of the play-in? Are they going to be able to maybe get to 6th? Now those days are gone.
You're
Barring
awesome.
any major injuries, you're in a position now to finally start thinking about maybe with a little bit of luck, maybe a run.
Raphael, thank you so much for gifting out
You're
5
awesome.
memberships. Again, if you want to have a membership too, it's just $2.99 a month. Truly appreciate you doing that. Very kindly, Raphael. And congratulations again on going to the game. And if you ever get in a pinch, you sell that shirt. I know you said you're going to keep it. $500 on eBay. I'd say it could go.
He
for
said,
that
if you ever get in a pinch, I like that.
500 on eBay.
In a
Pitch,
bind.
sell crack.
Buy.
Yeah.
Wow. If you want to do that too,
Fuck, I
Raphael,
sell
it's up
crack
to
before I
you.
sell
That'd
that
be a pretty
jersey.
small pinch.
Yeah, all right. But I tell you what, I do
Now,
appreciate
Becco.
Raphael gifting out
Sorry.
those memberships. John, I want to bring it back to you. The standard Robert Wheeler question of the day. Going to go ahead and bring it up for you here right in a moment. Joe and John, we're going to go with John on this one. Do you think Braun told you that this is your team? You're the best player. Lead the team. I remember distinctly when they huddled up, he said, don't fit the F in, fit the F out, because he knows what he can do. His experience, do you think he said that, or excuse me, Robert thinks he said that because of his experience in Miami with Wade and knowing what happens when it's not clear. Do you think he's learned from his experience playing in Miami and other places about playing with stars, Kyrie, etc.? And now that Luke is joining the team as a fellow superstar, he knows how to handle it better, John?
Yeah, I think he absolutely learned a lot from his time in Miami, but I don't even think that he's saying that for that reason. I think he's saying that because he's well aware at the fact that he's 40 years old and he's on the tail end of his career. It's the same thing that he was saying with Anthony Davis. Y'all, how many times did he tell AD, like, AD, this is your team, like, I need you to take over, or like, or how many times did it just he was indirectly saying that, and then AD just he doesn't have that takeover mindset in him. He's not a 1A. And Anthony Davis, time after time, would take over every once in a while, but never really took reign and took charge of took the bull by the horns, I think is what they say. Luka Doncic, he takes the bulls by the horn all the fucking time. And that's exactly what he's gonna do. And I think LeBron James is saying, yo, man, like I'm on my way out, dog. So lead the charge for us. And pretty similar to what I'm saying, because I'm about to go do my game recap, so I'm on the way out as well. But I did want to tell everyone that if you guys do want to check out any of my stuff that I got going on, please do check out my page, Lakers Corner. It is on YouTube. Bring you all type of Lakers content, game recaps, some film sessions, all that. And then also check me out on Instagram. It's Lakers_corner. And TikTok is Lakers Corner 24. But besides that, man, what a great freaking Luka Doncic debut win.
Perfect, man.
I saw my boys, man. The chat's jumping. Just a good Monday
John.
here for me.
Hell yeah, man.
Good Monday here for me, and good Tuesday there for Mark.
Yeah, man. Have a great rest of the week too, John. We'll catch up in the Utah game, bro, and I look forward to you. John's recaps, man. I don't know about you guys, but as I get older and all this YouTube and Twitter stuff comes into your life and your expansion, your concentration time diminishes. What you want is quick, small content like John. He nails this 2-minute recap of the game, and I absolutely love it, man. Just dropping facts all the time. And John plays the game every day, guys. So this dude knows what he's talking about. So please join.
Please
love
appreciate that.
Not
Mark.
only thank you for the super chat to No Joker, thank you for becoming a member as well. Truly appreciate you doing so. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Right now, you can see a whole bunch of videos on there that are exclusive to that membership, but also as well, the banned shorts that got us banned off of TikTok. If you want to see the videos that got us banned off of TikToks, it's only available for members right now. So check it out when you get a chance, No Joker. So truly appreciate you doing that. Mark and we're going to provide some more stuff when we can. It's got some Aussie stuff. I know that's probably when he gets a chance, and some stuff Lakers related I'm going to do, and pop culture stuff I'm going to throw on there as well. So truly appreciate it. Mark, I want to ask you this though, because of the rescinded trade that, of course, Charlotte wants to rescind again in regards to Mark Williams, which probably will not be rescinded again because of all the health concerns for Mark Williams. I want to ask you this. I mean, that leaves us a little bit of a problem now. I mean, backcourt defense is still an issue, but obviously the biggest defense, the biggest concern is right around the center position. And with Jackson Hayes manning it right now, I mean, absolutely great cutting to the basket. We saw him go up for several lobs with LeBron and Luka throwing it to him. Yes, but on the defensive end, we saw some things against better teams you might not like. I mean, his defensive rim protection is not the greatest. Rebounding is not the greatest. But there are not many options and ways for the Lakers to go. But if you have a chance and opportunity to run the Lakers now, and you could see anything out there on the horizon coming to fruition for the Lakers, what would you do to try to help solve this dilemma with something that might even improve it just even a smidge for the Lakers?
Well, you do whatever it takes if it means just handing out money. I don't really know what it means about trading other players to make that happen. Obviously, that doesn't happen with like buyout players. So, like it is what it is. I think yourself, Joe keeps touching on it. It would have been crazy to have made this move. And then Mark Williams, who's played 1/3 of the games he's played since being in the NBA, potentially, sort of hamstringing the next few years for us. So I'll say this too, Gerald. I mean, if the whole thing goes and Adam Silver somehow concocts the trade again and Mark's in our team, man, I'll back him every day of the week. But as things stand right now, we're backing the Lakers, and the Lakers have said this guy's injured, and they're pulling out of a deal for a reason. They're not stupid. If they thought, okay, he's not really that injured. Let's get him in and we can win a chip this year with Luka. They would have done it. They identified the player, and then they went and they got a medical. This happens all the time in big European trades, and Europe, man, you're talking about millions of dollars that go on the line for trade. People get bought from other clubs 60, 70, 80 million dollars. And the thing that turns down the deal is medicals. This is what you expect in top sport. So it's rare that it happens, obviously. But like Joe said before, man, this is a sneaky organization we're dealing it with here in the Hornets. So they haven't been fully transparent, and we're not even sure if they've been transparent to the player. Apparently, he didn't know about some of the injuries he had or was in his body. So, man, honestly, man, it's all about backing the Lakers right now, and it's short term. Okay, fine. Obviously, if we don't win a chip this year, like every single year you're a Laker fan, it's going to hurt. But, there's a longer term play, and we'll keep saying that. And if we don't win the chip this year, it's going to be next year. It's going to be the year after. Got to make the right moves, now that we've got Luca there. And Mark Williams, sorry, man, but you're injury prone. So you weren't the right move. We thought you were. We got a medical, and it came up with red lights everywhere. I'm sure they didn't want this to happen. I'm sure they didn't want to take back Cam and a salty Dalton. But these things happen, and like I said before, JJ Redick's an ex-player, a player that these guys know. He would have pulled them aside and just said, "This is the business of basketball, guys." LeBron would have said, "Dalton, I got you, man." So I've got no worries about the confidence of our players, and I'm going to keep backing the club until I see something different. And if you're going to pull out of the Williams deal, that's all good. Yeah, ideally we can get someone in the buyout market. You guys have been mentioning certain names, and I'll take any of them. But right now, the team, as presently constructed with no injuries, is good enough to win a chip because we've got Luka Doncic, the second best player in the world, and we've got a top 10 player in LeBron. And man, I keep saying it as well. I don't know the game like you guys do, but man, was there an obsession with defense and calling out all this 80s defense and how we're going to miss it, this and that. Man, I look at it like this: just score more than the other team, and that's it. And obviously, defense is a part of that. But when you take away things like LeBron now not having to concentrate as much on scoring, maybe he can exert more on defense. It's all going to be in the mix now, guys, and we're going to see what's going to come out of it all. But the next few months is exciting, and the fact that they didn't trade for Williams because of the injury, then therefore brings our sort of summer as exciting. We'll see what we can do with those picks and trades now that we didn't use for Williams, man. I don't know. I'm super excited. I just can't be on another level right now. I can't be thinking negatively. I feel like Hayes is playing really, really well. We've won seven out of the 8 games he's started. Obviously, he's a defensive liability, and there's still that uncoordination we see at times. But man, can he dunk on people's faces? So let's focus on that. Let's focus on the positivities. The other boys have got to back him up too, Gerald. Vando's got to get in there for offensive and defensive rebounds. LeBron's got to. Joe said this today. We're forgetting this. Luke is a big point guard. He rebounds too. He's going to help Jackson. So, man, a team effort's going to work here. So I'm all in. I don't care if we end up getting someone. We do, we don't. I'm going to back the boys as presently constructed. Anything else is going to be, an icing or cherry on the top. And then we're going to roll into summer, and then we're going to get real serious about our future. So it's all good, man. Mark Williams, sorry, you're injured, bro. Sort it out.
Joe, one thing we've always talked about coming into the season was the play of the bench. And there's been some ups and downs, for the most part, downs when it comes to the contributions the bench has made. In fact, statistically, they're still one of the worst benches in the NBA. But lately, we have been getting a more productive bench. Xbox doesn't hate Gabe's face anymore. Gabe has been playing well over the past three weeks now. We've seen Vando come into the lineup, and although he can't give you anything scoring-wise, he has been giving you hustle and defense and some rebounding at times. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's been obviously a key coming off the bench. I know that JJ is still contemplating and waffling about seeing at some point in time whether he puts him into the starting lineup. So, but for the most part, the Lakers have been giving a more concerted effort off the bench, a better contribution off the bench, so they're not the total minus that they have been for a good portion of the season, Joe. And on top of all that, Jordan Goodwin picked up on a two-way, playing at South Bay all season long, has come in here with 2 double-digit games in a row, Joe.
And 8 rebounds tonight, and basically almost made every shot tonight. So he's a breath of fresh air. Someone coming in that can actually make a shot when he's open. That's always the worry about a lot of these G League type guys. The Laker role players have embraced their roles. I liked when the discussion before the game about who was going to start, we ended up finding out Rui was going to start instead of DFS because DFS was rumored to maybe take that spot. But what JJ said was, we're going to put Rui in there to start because DFS, whether he starts or he's coming off the bench, it doesn't affect his game. That becomes a huge asset. If you remember back in the day when the Spurs were contending for titles, Manu Ginobili was going to be a Hall of Famer. I believe he is a Hall of Famer, isn't he? Has he been inducted? Yeah. So he's a Hall of Famer. And this is a man who, in his prime, not later in his career, not before he was, when he was wet behind the ears. I'm talking in his prime. This man became the 6th starter, essentially. And it changes the whole setup. And then a few years later, you saw Lamar Odom do the same thing because they didn't want to play Gasol with Lamar to start the games. They wanted to start with Andrew Bynum. And when it was closing time, that's when they did show up with Lamar and Gasol. So these type of things, the things that you love on a team that has chemistry, a team that's focused on winning, this is the stuff you start to hear. And then on top of that, you have 2 of the most giving superstars that we've ever seen. How is this not going to work? How many dunks? How many dunks did he had 6, right?
Yeah.
He had 6 dunks, guys. 6.
Yeah.
So whatever he does, our something that just is a waste of time is worrying about what a player can't do. You already know this guy or that guy can't do certain things. I'm not concerned about that. When AC Green was starting at the 4 during the 2000 season, you didn't think we knew this guy wasn't going to be able to play more than 20 minutes during the game and was not likely going to be able to guard the Rasheed Wallaces and all that. No, they brought in Robert Horry to do that kind of stuff. But what he did was he stabilized the team. He hit a couple of mid-range shots. He's a team player. He's a veteran. He's won before. You have to play the game like you're playing chess. It's not always going to be, a pawn is not going to do what a rook does. So stop acting and wanting things that are not possible. Continuing to say, well, this guy can't do this. Well, okay, if he freaking could do that, he'd be getting paid $40 million a year if he could do that. Focus on the talent, where it goes, how it fits. That's what JJ has done really well. And the communication inside that locker room is stout. And if you need proof that this team has an energy that is starting to get really scary for the opposition, watch how LeBron runs. He has been on fire nonstop. He did it in New York before the trade, but that's different. He always plays like that in New York, just like Kobe did, just like Jordan did. I've seen almost all those games in my 30 plus years watching basketball, all those New York games with those 3. So fast forward to that evening, it was almost like, hey, LeBron already did this today. Now he's going to do it the next couple of weeks, which he has.
So let me ask you this, Joe. I want to bring it back to you on this. Okay. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but the first thing, it was like we come in, Lakers put up 132 tonight. Everything's good. We win by 19. We're ahead by 20 plus most of the game. Luka's come in his first minutes as a Laker, and the first thing I see is LeBron has 7 turnovers. It's like some people just cannot be happy. Yes, he had 7 turnovers. Yes, you are going to see him and Luka always have a lot of turnovers. That's who they are. When you have that much usage, it's just a part of what they do. It's not something they're going to escape. LeBron is the all-time leader in turnovers. But the trade-off is that you get the exciting plays, the points, the rebounds, the assists as a balance to go ahead and work off that. What do you say when that happens, Joe? Again, we need to be happy and focused. We have Luka Doncic here, who's one of the best players on the planet, playing alongside LeBron. We have a real viable chance at making some noise now and in the future. What do you say about that, Joe, when you see that pop up at the beginning of the show?
I don't care. I don't care he has 7. I don't care he has 14. When you win by 30, 25, 20, you can do whatever the hell you want. He probably doesn't do that against a good team. He's not going to risk as much. This is entertainment too, guys. We want to see some entertainment. And it's okay when it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's an 82-game season. Sometimes it happens. I don't want him doing this against Denver and ends up being a costly issue. When you handle the ball as much as you handle the ball like LeBron and Luka, you're gonna find yourself turning the ball over. It's just that's part of it. The more chances of you driving 80 miles an hour on the freeway every day, day in and day out, you have a higher percentage of getting into a car accident versus someone who works from home all year. Am I right or am I wrong?
So you're right.
And you have to also understand, guys, when you're on the internet, most of the guys out there that want to talk smack have their thumb up their ass while they do it, while they have the other hand on the keyboard. You shouldn't pay no mind to these people. If they're just going to start out a conversation with, well, he had 7 turnovers, and not mention that they just waxed Utah for the 3rd time this year. You're supposed to beat. When you're a good team, you're supposed to do what the Lakers did tonight to Utah. It doesn't mean anything against the elite. Sure, you're right. But when you beat up any NBA team and you're a good team, that's what you're supposed to do. If this game was a 2-point game, then you have some room to say, hey, man, these guys got lazy. These guys did this, and that, whatever. But then at the same time, you also have to kind of feel what's going on at that moment. You're not always going to blow out a bad team. 82 games in a season, you might have a game like they had in Charlotte where they barely won 112, 107. You have to kind of feel what's going on at that time. The Lakers in 2000 won 67 games, right? Best record, ended up winning a championship. They had a bad week and a half at one point during the season. They lost 6 of 8. That ended up costing them a 70-win season. And that was that team, a team where they had Shaq winning MVP, scoring titles, 2nd in rebound, 3rd in blocks, 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year award that year, winning All-Star MVP, ended up winning Finals MVP. I mean, it was the perfect season. Kobe, first-team All-NBA. Kobe coming into his own, closing out Indiana. I mean, you're talking about every kind of entertainment that you want there, right? You have to feel what's going on. Not every 2-point win is the same thing, depending on what month, what day, what game. But if you're going to start a conversation stupid like that, you're going to get called out. You should say, man, I really, really am getting tired of LeBron's turnovers. Then I'll be like, yeah, I can understand that. I get it. Even in a game like this, like, dude, stop turning the ball over. It sets up bad habits. Okay, yeah, you got a point there. But in the end, this is about winning. You score more points than the other team, win the damn game. We'll worry about the semantics on a show so that we can have something to talk about. But also the last thing I'm going to say is, Don't worry about what players can't do. Stop doing that. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of everybody's time. The Lakers already know that they're deficient at the 5. They're going to have to make do with what they got to do. But a lot of the reasons why this situation happened is because they know they can't risk giving up assets, giving up talent for something that might not work. Because they have a shot in about 4 months, 5 months, depending on when they finish, to go get what they want. They have that opportunity. They will be people out there giving up a good center, or there will be a center that'll be available where they can sign, depending on, again, how the contracts work out, right? But there will be somebody out there that will trade with them so that they can get those picks and the talent that's on the table.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 132-113. The Lakers are now 32-19, still fourth place in the Western Conference, 10.5 games behind Oklahoma City, but they are a game and a half behind Denver in that race for a possible top 3 seed. So we'll see. That's exactly what I want to ask you, Mark, is, again, Denver has really started to play well. Right at a time when the Lakers are starting to play well. You still have one of your other favorite, I would say, okay, not almost as favorite as the Lakers, but not quite, teams in Memphis, still playing good basketball. A team that you like not as much as the Lakers, but you admire some things about them.
Yeah.
Going to be tough coming out of the All-Star break. The Lakers, even with some easy games initially, it does get tougher. End of February, going into March. The task is tall with Luka, not only to get them acclimated together, him and LeBron, get him back into full game shape, but to get the Lakers over the hump and how well they can play, and how, if the possibility exists that they could go ahead and jump Denver or Memphis in that Western Conference.
Man, the Western Conference is absolutely stacked, and I'll just clarify that I keep a passing interest on Memphis. They are certainly not a team that I follow with any heart, or, Lakers are my team. I don't really want anyone else to win, but the fact that Powell played there and they have a Spanish player now means, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for them. But Memphis are a really, really big threat.
Aldama's good. I'm going to give you that. Aldama's really
he's
good.
And I don't know if they starting him recently, but he was certainly
They're going to sign him into extension, I bet you, in the off season.
Yeah, that's a given. No, he's developed really well. I didn't think he'd be this level, but he's playing really well for them. So, Memphis are Memphis, Memphis, Denver, obviously OKC, and the other boys that are in and around us are very, very good teams. But now we got Luka, so it's like, what are they thinking about us, man? Because they were looking at us before and they weren't too scared. Now they've got to change everything about how they've played previously. And, the thing about Luka is he loves a bit of Denver. He's cooked them on several occasions. He's cooked our boys over there at the Intuit Dome as well. He's pretty much cooked every team in the NBA. So, and the one he wants revenge most on is the Celtics. So let's just see what happens over the next. These guys are motivated. Today wasn't about turnovers for LeBron or, missed threes by so and so. Gabe played well. Rui played well. AR played well. Luka played, quite well. He had the game exactly the game we wanted. LeBron top scored. Everything's positive today. They're integrating one of the biggest superstars who have ever played the game into the team. So 7 turnovers might have been a result of just that, players not being in the same position as they normally are. Things like that, man. Joe put it well there. When you win by 30-odd points or 20-odd points, man, that you can have 50 turnovers for all I care as well. We played super well and we carried the momentum. It wasn't like Luka came into the team and, man, can you imagine if we'd lost today, how we'd all be feeling and what we'd be talking about?
Because sometimes that happens. You can bring up in a player,
hell yeah,
even a good player, even a great player, and they can throw off the balance of the team, especially one that has been playing so well as of late, like the Lakers, Mark.
Damn straight. And we brought in a player that needed the ball, and we wanted to get him a little bit of ball time today. So that could have thrown out the rhythm completely, but it didn't. And that goes to JJ's coaching and the coaching staff, how well they've been doing over the last few weeks, and the team itself. So everything today is just continued positivity from that moment that we found out he was traded, which was after a good win at the Garden too. So like you think about that, Gerald? I think it was last Sunday or Saturday for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was a
like
great day on that
it
Saturday.
was
I'll
a
just leave it at
fantastic
that.
day, yeah, but it feels like it was, a year ago. That's how much we've all been anticipating. And how do you think Luka's been feeling? Luka's
Yeah.
moved from Dallas to here, and he's played tonight within a week, and he's been injured for them for a month and a half. Man, everything was positive tonight, and that's where I'm going to stay at least until the next game, and we'll go with that, man. And I'm back in the Lakers, like I said before. Mark Williams, if you do end up coming to the club, welcome. But man, if you don't, and that trade's rescinded as we want it to be, as we're, because we're going to back the club, and that's it. This club's in a real good position, man.
It is. That's the thing, Joe. That's the reason why you and I were so initially so happy once the shock where you couldn't talk, and I was like, no, 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 Shams is
It's
hacked.
a hack.
Shams is hack. It's a hack. It's a hack. And Joe was like, and if I, no, I don't think it's a hack. I don't think it's a hack. After all that went away, and the reality hit, Joe, you and I, again, we've been doing the show a while. You and I realized what this means. We had changed in that instant, Joe, you and I, in our philosophy. All these years, you and I have gone on and we've been called this and we've been called that and we called this, called that, about the fact that we've been bringing it to you real now for years, and we've been told this and told that. Why aren't you guys more positive, et cetera, et cetera? Instantly, in that instant, Joe, you and I knew we found a reason to be positive now. And we found a reason to be positive for the future with Luka Doncic.
Yeah, the anger was a build. It wasn't something that just happened overnight. It was a building of mistakes and ineptness, and it never stopped. Hiring the wrong coach, trading the wrong players, letting go of the wrong players, catering to an agency. Folks, have you noticed still, we don't hear anything about Clutch. Everything was Clutch for weeks, months, years. And it was driving us nuts. Like, why is an agency dictating plans and ideas for the LA Lakers? We haven't heard jack squat about Clutch. Nothing. It's all been Nico. It's all been Dallas fans. It's all been Charlotte and their shitstorm of a franchise. It's this is the LA Lakers. The standard is high. If you can't handle it, then go cheer for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We spend a lot of our time. We support this team. Mark, you have the culture of, when you say you're a fan of a team, you say you're supporters, right? That's how they speak in Europe.
That's right. Yeah.
We are Barca supporters. We are Real Madrid supporters.
Yes.
That's probably a better term to describe what a Laker fan is, because a fan is short for fanatic. Now, we can come off as fanatics, but then I hear about assholes sending death threats to general managers, and I'm like, no, we're not fanatics. We're not fans. We're supporters. Because if only a fanatic moron would do stuff like that. I don't care if the Lakers traded Magic, Kobe, and Shaq in their prime in a billion years. The last thing I would do in that moment is go send death threats to Jeannie Buss and their kids. Like, seriously, this is what it comes to. Stupid. Fucking stupid. Seriously, beyond stupid. People who do stuff like that should be whooped to the face. Honestly, they should be whooped with a damn horsewhip. on the face until they learn the lesson. So all this negativity that was created, what happened? What changed? Well, folks, we live in a results world. You all know, you've heard me say that 100 times, okay?
What business are you in, Joe?
I'm in the results business. And it has actually nothing to do with me. It's about providing a service. The LA Lakers were providing a less than mediocre product at high prices. How do you feel, guys? How do you feel when you buy something that's expensive and it sucks ass? How do you feel? You know how much time we spent doing this, guys? It's freaking 11:30 at night. I should be either at the gym, finishing up my workout, or falling asleep. We spend 3 hours watching a basketball game, 2 to 3 hours. We spend 2 hours talking on here if we're lucky, because a lot of times there might be something else going on. We'll do 2 hours here, 1 hour there, 2 hours there, whatever. Then you're reading and listening, because I know it sounds like we just free ball this. We don't. I actually do prep work. It's part of what you're supposed to do when you're, going on here trying to explain things. Otherwise, how the hell are you going to know what the hell to talk about? And yeah, my memory's great, but I still got to know what the hell's going on. So now, what's happened in the last 8 days? What they did was they essentially went from, we don't know what the hell is going to happen now for the next decade, to we know exactly what we're going to do right now for the next decade. Because in my book, and I was wrong about AD in 2020. I thought he was going to be an MVP as a Laker. I really did. He should have been a defensive player of the year that year. He got hosed. But I said, okay, AD is going to be an MVP. If this is what AD is going to start doing for the Lakers, it was his first year with the Lakers. And everything was all discombobulated because of the whole COVID thing. I'm like, let's get AD for a full year, without distraction. Man, this guy's going to ball. I was wrong. It didn't end up working out. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong a second time. Talent like this isn't wrong. Talent like Luka Doncic is not going to go his whole career without winning 2 or 3 MVPs. There's no way it's going to happen. He is going to win an MVP. And he would have won an MVP this year had he not gotten injured. Okay? So, we said a lot of harsh things. And I say harsh because it sounded personal. And maybe I wanted it to sound personal because there was outside things going on too that I didn't have a lot of respect on Rob and Jeannie. But what did they do? They realized their mistakes, much like we've realized our mistakes and criticizing it. And they said, screw this. We're going to go back to doing Dr. Bust style type stuff. Whether it was Dallas who did it, whether it was this Nico Harrison. I never heard of Nico Harrison my whole life until 8 days ago. I don't give a shit about who he is. I don't give a damn about Dallas Maverick fans. I don't give a shit about the Adelsons. You can't handle your business. That's on you. You deal with that. You want to give us Luka Doncic? Goddamn well, we're going to say yes. Open up that damn door. Open it up for 10 years at least. Having the baddest man in basketball during that time, because Luka is that guy. Luka is Mamba mentality. To me, he's really the only one in the NBA that has it. There's a lot of great players. Jokic is amazing. Giannis is amazing. Embiid, when he's not a jerk off, is amazing. But none of them have that killer in him. What is the luck that one guy got back to LA that had it? So how the hell are we not going to be happy? How are we not going to celebrate? Good times are coming.
Good times indeed. Absolutely. Once again, it is 132 to 113. The Lakers again winning. They are now 32-19. Again, 4th place in the Western Conference. I wanted to point out something that Keenan Williams on Facebook. Glad to have you here, my friend. Of course, if you are following us, please do so at Lakers Fast Break on Facebook. And big shout out to all the people that were sharing our video either during the game and afterwards. Truly appreciate you doing so. Again, over 22,000 views for tonight's game. And we thought that was a little low, but hey, I will take it absolutely indeed. But Xbox, Keenan's question was this team is on fire right now, 9-1 outside of that faux pas in Philadelphia. His question is how?
Sorry, I was typing a message to you at that time, Joel. Can you just
I
repeat
see it.
Keenan's question? Sorry about that.
This team is on fire. We're going to close it out here in a little bit, but this team is on fire right now. How?
As in us?
Yes. Well,
Well,
how? Well, we're on fire, of
well,
course. We're always on fire, absolutely. But how is the team on
yeah,
fire, winning
yeah.
9 of
Sorry, the
10?
Lakers.
How is it
Well,
coming along, even with Luka on the team?
Well, it's coming on unbelievably, and the way we've been playing the last few weeks has been insane. There was a combination of AD there for 1 or 2 games potentially, but the majority has been without him, and also without Luca on the flip side of that. So no, there's been a buy-in there. I don't know whether the trades elevated the feeling within the team. We're clearly, some of us do believe that there's been a mindset change. Obviously, with Luca coming into the team, players are going to be pretty excited. And I keep saying this about the flip side, and we're not going to keep talking about Dallas. I'm only talking about the players like Clay, guys like Kyrie that went there to specifically play with Luca. Man, these guys are all-time greats in their own respect. And they were like, we want to ball with this guy. We know how good he is. Said this as well after the day he got traded. When you look at the reactions from other players, man, none of them mentioned AD, KD, all of those guys. Everyone was like, how the hell did they trade Luca? No one spoke about the impact AD was going to have on the other way out. Luca, like Joe keeps saying, is possibly the only player right now with the Mamba mentality and the skills to back it up. So why wouldn't we be excited? And then adding on to a team that's been playing really well lately and specific players like Gabe, I love your face. He's been playing really well. Rui, I was carving Rui up earlier in the season because I thought, where is this guy going? He's not developing. That's changed just like that overnight. Not overnight. He's actually really played well for the last 6 weeks. There's something there. Everything's coming together nicely. The whole JJ thing where he was getting out coached in third quarters, that's not happening anymore. Obviously, we've got to play better teams, guys, and see what that looks like. But man, yeah, like everything's positive around the club right now, and that's impacting the players, and it's all good. That's why we're in a good spot. I forget the gentleman's name that asked that question, or he or she.
Keenan,
But
yes,
yeah,
on
Keenan,
Facebook.
great question. But this is where the Lakers, should be. This is what we expected the team, and we're rolling, man. We're rolling hard.
Joe No Joker says they locked down. And by the way, Xbox, I know you're jetting out pretty soon, but I truly
Yeah,
appreciate you stopping by, doing what you
pleasure.
can as far as modding, and then of course a great part of our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live coverage as well. Truly blessed whenever you can make it here, my friend, and go Barca.
Always go Barca. And hey, on that, we'll announce down the track, but we might be doing something there where some of the Lakers guys might get a bit of Barca content. You always remember Kobe was a big Barca fan. So there's always a connection there, guys. And there's a lot of crossover between the expectations of how the Lakers come into each season and Barca, man, the winning clubs. And that's exactly where the Lakers are heading right now. So I couldn't be happier. Have a good rest of the show, Gerald and Joe. I'll talk to you obviously soon, boys.
You got it.
And see
Wishing
you,
you all
chat.
the best. It is, of course, Mark, aka Xbox. He is our man down under. It is our own version of Chris Helmsworth. Go ahead and check him out today as part of a playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live coverage and always modding right here on the Lakers Fast Break. But before we head on out, Joe, No Joker said they locked down in the foxhole and came out brothers and played through a mostly easier schedule and gained a tremendous amount of confidence in beating some A teams as well as others, but they are circling and they are heading on up. Your thoughts on what Keenan said, and also adding on to it by No Joker. This team is on fire right now. How are they getting it done? 9 out of their last 10.
Well, they're getting it done off of what we've already said. Their chemistry, everyone understands their role. They have an identity. The coaching is playing well. There's an excitement that's just continuing to boil over. Once Doncic gets his conditioning in, guys, this is going to get even better. This was the 6th straight game the Lakers have scored 90 or more points after 3 quarters. They are a scoring machine, and they don't even have Luka at full throttle right now. So God help you. God help you. It's eerily similar to eerily similar to what the Dodgers were in 2024. Their lineup, murderer's row of the 21st century, dropping 8, 9, 10 runs in the playoffs, and then the part that the quote unquote was a weakness came through in matters that mattered when they needed it. But the primary was that fuel, that run producing fuel. This team is going to win a championship if they stay healthy and have that focus by their strength, and that is running you out the gym. You have 3 ball handlers on this team now. 2 of them can find an ant on the ground and get that ant the ball for a layup. There's nothing those 2 can't do when it comes to running the offense. And then on top of that, they can score at will. They can shoot threes. They can get to the basket. They could do pick and roll. You saw LeBron doing some Kobe-like stuff with his footwork, drop step, fade, in. We saw that in 2020 when they won the title. He was doing a little Dirk skip, little Dirk jumps here and there. When LeBron starts to do what Kobe used to do and Dirk and all these guys, yeah, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you're going to be in trouble. And right now, looking at their schedule, they have one more game before the All-Star break. If they win this game on Wednesday against Utah in Utah, they sweep Utah for the season. So that'll be the last game they face Utah. And then they'll be on a 7-game winning streak. 7-game winning streak, 11 of 12. And then they'll have that break. They come back after the All-Star break. They're going to have Charlotte at home. That's the makeup game from the LA Fires. And then they have the back end of a back-to-back in Portland to kind of close off this easy schedule the last week and a half before they face Denver. And I am looking forward to the Denver game. I want to see if Luka is going to be kind of going there. It doesn't help to have the break because now his stamina is going to be held back a little bit, and then he's got to get it back playing Charlotte, playing Portland. So hopefully by then he'll be able to be ready to show Denver who he is. Because if the Lakers end up beating Denver in that game, the reason why it's important that they win that game is because now Denver is going to go, oh shit, Luka's not there now. That's what I want. I want that, especially in Denver, Gerald. If Luka goes in there, drops 35, 12, and 11, and they win, I guarantee you the issues they've had with Denver the last 2 years are going to be gone. Because now the psychology is reversed.
I agree with you there, but by God, we're going to have to hear Mike. I'm going to call him Mike. I don't care, Michael Malone, whatever. Michael Malone whining like no tomorrow, Joe. We're going to hear him whine. League did this. How could they allow this trade to happen? Blah, 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 blah. See, when he knows something's not going to work out for his team, he always goes to the press and always goes to whining, Joe. That's who Michael Malone is.
I don't give a shit about what Michael Malone thinks.
Okay.
Yeah. He can yap all he wants. I don't care. All I know is we have Luka Doncic, and Luka Doncic likes to eat chicken nuggets.
That's true. We'll see if he can eat some up next time they play each other. But it is, of course, the
I'm
Lakers
sorry, I
fast
meant
break.
barbecue chicken nuggets.
Yes, barbecue chicken. Yes, barbecue chicken. That's to make accentuate the
Well,
fact that
our guy Shaq created the barbecue chicken. Now we've inserted the nuggets in there.
yes.
Barbecue chicken nuggets is what Luka likes to eat when he goes to Denver. This isn't just some funny line, folks. Look at Luka's history against the Denver Nuggets. He messes that team up bad. And what has been the problem with the Lakers the last 3 years? They're messing up the Lakers. They don't have anybody. AD hasn't been able to do anything. LeBron doesn't have enough gas at the end of the games to beat him. So now we got the Nugget Buster. Just what are you gonna do, man? Some teams have all the luck.
What are you going to do indeed? But I'm glad that we're having the good luck right now.
That's good,
Again,
Kerry. That's good. I like that. I like that.
LAL.
I'm going to use that from now on.
It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Before everyone leaves, we've got a good crowd tonight. Truly appreciate you stopping by and joining us. Check out some of our other videos on the channel, including the time when Luka got traded. It's a 10-minute video. Go ahead and check out our live responses as it happened. Also, as well, you could go ahead and get an update on the Mark Williams trade earlier in the show. If you just came and joined us, we'll go ahead and give you a little quick recap. Charlotte getting the notice that the Lakers have rescinded the trade between Mark Williams, of course, also as well Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, the pick swap and the pick. That trade has been rescinded. Well, Charlotte today has gone to the NBA looking to get that trade reignited. After saying they were embracing Mark Williams, they want to send him right back to the Lakers. We will see a final decision being made by the NBA at some point. Most observers say, you know what, if there is something that was flagged in the medicals, there's probably no way that Charlotte has a leg to stand on. So it looks like we're going to keep Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect was out on street close tonight because this is still pending, so he can't play as of yet. Cam Reddish is still on for personal reasons because he had I think he had a daughter, I believe, last week, so he's still with his wife at this point in time. So we want to congratulate him. So people are asking where he's at in all of this, but again, we will see how that materializes. But with the Lakers heading to Salt Lake City on Wednesday, we will be there for it. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, the best post game that's out there is always here. Always, always, always here at the Lakers Fast Break. And of course, tomorrow we'll bring you another show recapping what went on today, plus also previewing tomorrow, and then also what we're looking forward to seeing during the All-Star break from the Lakers, and also as well what comes out of it. We're talking about that as well. We know the All-Star break is not our favorite time for Joe and I, the All-Star game and all that, but we'll make sure over the All-Star break we will provide you with constant content for you. Just like, subscribe, and if you want to become a member, we'll go ahead and get the chance to go ahead and provide more stuff for you on the membership channel as well. Homelander is happy. We're going to win the championship. He's already in tune with this. F says that, yeah, they just took Diabate, took him out of a two-way into a regular contract. Yes. Will we get our problem solved maybe in some small fashion with a buyout or with somebody that's waived or pick up a G Leaguer? We don't know as far as the big guy is concerned. For right now, we have what we have, and it's pretty damn good, and it's scaring the rest of the league as the Lakers have won 9 out of 10 with a 132-113 victory. They are now fourth place in the Western Conference, 10.5 games back, essentially tied with Houston. I'm hoping for some distance that they can create from Houston as Houston starts to fall a little bit down in the standings. Joe, it is now a great time once again to be a Lakers fan. What, 8 days ago, 9 days ago, 10 days ago, you and I were trying to be the voice of reason. We are still the voice of reason, but we are the voice of a positive reason now that Luka Doncic has absolutely been on the floor. He's actually played a game, and he's now officially a Los Angeles Laker.
Thanks, Sports Baby, for having that stat. Yeah, that's something that's That record right there is going to change. By the way, you'll be above 500 in the win column soon enough, but it's still a team game in the end, right? A lot of people don't know this, but Michael Jordan had losing records against Karl Malone and John Stockton his whole career. People don't remember that because he beat him in the finals. Kobe had a losing record against LeBron because most of the years that LeBron and Kobe were playing, LeBron always had usually the better teams. But as far as the person, the individual side of things, yeah, he's usually there, and I believe this team could be better than any team he's ever been on, just this year already. So yeah, we're going to get a chance to see what the results on those are going to be. Hopefully, more wins.
And hopefully more wins indeed. But again, they do have one more game before the All-Star break. It is on Wednesday. It is in Salt Lake City, so go ahead and join us for that on playback.tv, South Lakers Fast Break. Great crowd tonight, again, on Playback. Truly appreciate it. Great crowd tonight joining us. Big shout out to everyone on Facebook and also Twitch as well. For Joe Sorrell, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. We will be back tomorrow for more fun. Luka Doncic is officially a Laker as he steps out on the floor tonight and being a part of what hopefully will be a great future and a great career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Joe, did you see the Hollywood sign with the 77 that was attached? I thought that said it all, my friend. This city really wants it to work out. Just like with Ohtani, they really want it to work out for Luka in LA.
Oh, it's going to work out. If it's not this year, next year and beyond. Get ready.
No, Joker, we cannot broadcast the game due to regulations, but what we do on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, we do watch the game. I do have VIPs I give out. I have up to 20 each game that I can give out at various times. That will allow you to see what we see, which is the actual television feed. For everybody else, they join us as far as for the chat, the fun, the merriment, whether it's on Playback or whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Twitch. They go ahead and join us for the chat there. But yes, I do have 20 VIPs, so you can actually see the game along with us during the game. But again, it's first come, first serve, and as long as you stay on, you will be a VIP. But if you leave, I have to give other VIPs, whatnot. We had a big crowd tonight, so I was giving up VIPs right and left. But it was truly enjoyable. Everybody seemed to have a great time, and we're looking forward to having you a part of what we do here, both on Playback and, of course, everything that we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Have a great evening, everyone. Be safe.